All right. So for this last couple of weeks, I've kind of just been really not paying attention to what anybody else is doing, trying to stick to my own game plan. But one thing that's kind of been sticking out is Robin and his hike was on the other side of this range. He wasn't back up in here. He was over here in all this. Now, I'm not saying he didn't go up into this, but it seems kind of like his focus was more along this. And let's have a listen and check this out.
On the other side of those is where I'm going to be popping out after I go over this. See, there's this little canyon. I got to go down. I got to go over this mountain, and then I drop way down this mountain into a canyon, and I head off in that direction. I just go that direction, and that's west, heading towards. That's Mount Charleston, that big mountain out there. That's the Mount Charleston range, and then excuse me, I got flies all over the place. And then, so I'll be heading down behind this mountain over here in a little canyon that gets kind of scary because there's all kinds of cliffs and stuff. And then hope.
Okay, that's coming out of Picture Canyon. When he gets into Picture Canyon, he outright says, when he comes down through here where that cave that seems to be the big argument, this is the M cave, this is it, confirmed, this is it. He says that ain't it. So let's carry on.
Hopefully I'll find that cave. It's like back over there somewhere, but down on the other side of that mountain. And
back over, he's looking through this saddle, or this saddle. Mine's right here. His camera angle really does not show us where. If he's looking at this one, that's the canyon where Robin's rock is. So I have 10 days out there. I plan on day one, get here, get up here, get set up, and then night two, I am not sure. It might be up here, might be back over here. I'm not sure. But after 8.5, 9 hours, it says 8.5 hours to drive there, but they don't allow for gas stops. 560 miles, I should have one gas stop. And then fill up in Vegas. And I'm not even going into Vegas. When I come in, I am taking this bypass. I seen gas stations right out here. I figure I will top off, probably get something to eat out here, then head up and then go ahead, grab my pack, everything, load up with as much water as hopefully I can pack 3 days of water. I plan on getting a 4-liter water bag. That's going to suck. Most of my weight, I believe, is going to be water, but everything else is going to be fairly lightweight. Hammock weighs absolutely nothing. Inflatable sleeping pad, pretty much nothing. Sleeping bag, I have to break my sleeping bag down because I got a 40 below bag and it's 7 sleeping bags in one, so I need to pull the inner bag out of it and hope like hell I'm not wishing I wanted the other half of it, because I do not want to have 2 trips taking a camp in. But I kind of figure after driving, if I set up my initial camp night 1 right in here, then that puts me that much farther ahead to where I could either drop down, come through, and start looking at this. One thing that I am bringing is, well, I'm bringing a few things. I'm bringing my rangefinder, night vision, and lasers, because I want to bounce a laser around down in that mine shaft. And there was a couple, I do plan on going down here to where that rock is that Sean seems to think is the covered up cave. I think it's just a fractured rock, but with those crack openings, I shoot a laser in it. I can get that on camera. The laser's going to do one of 2 things. It's going to shoot for a half a mile, or it's going to go a foot or 2. If it goes and it stops, then that's a dead end. It takes something solid to have that laser stop. But I've got 2 different lasers. I have one that has a grid pattern, and then I have one that shoots, I believe it's 10 miles. So those are going to be for debunking things like that. But I kind of plan on one day, probably closer to the end of the trip, back in here. Mostly because I want to go up this and I want to check out that rock, and I want to get good video, good pictures. The rock to me is irrelevant, but I kind of want to confirm it for Atari. If the damn thing wasn't as heavy as it is, that sandstone that thick, that rock probably weighs 200-300 pounds, so packing it out, and I'd probably get in trouble if I tried to pack it out, but if I get some really good pictures and everything like that, then at least I know where it's at. I'll probably be running Onyx, and it should map out for me every footstep that I take up there. And I'll probably do a couple more videos like this, but I do want to do this. I don't care who goes out there and does that. That's pretty much why I am willing to show this part. As far as any of my other plans, yeah, they're all on Onyx. They're already waypointed, everything like that. After that last video I did showing this, and then within 3 hours, there's another video out going over exactly what I had just shown. Gonna keep my cards a little closer to my chest. Either you understand or you don't, but I don't care. So anyway, right here.
And then I got to walk all the way along this whole gigantic range on the outside of that mountain, because I came down this valley. You'll see this valley, but I'll be out there down. It was just over. It's not sick.
Alright. What I am hunting for.
I'm just gonna go cliffs and stuff that I gotta start climbing into the long canyon. Here, photographs off of that mountain. All the way down
Chip,
here.
shut
That
up!
goes way up there.
Sorry
that just
about
goes,
that.
That's north, and it just keeps on going all the way off again.
What I'm looking for.
When I get to the canyon walls, I try to pretend like small go trouble. That kind of not the kind of cave I'm looking for. The kind of cave I'm looking for keeps on going, and then there's lots of little caves, but they're they're not the kind of cave I'm looking for. The kind of cave but it just keeps on going, and then there's lots of little caves, but they're not the kind of cave I'm looking for. The kind of cave I'm looking for is deep, and it's dark, and
We're going to listen to that one more time for the cheap seats.
through that, it kind of turns into like an S, but it just keeps on going, and then there's lots of little caves, but they're not the kind of cave I'm looking for. The kind of cave I'm looking for is deep, and it's dark, and it's shaped like it's shaped just like the letter M. So lots of little caves and stuff along here, and it's about level with the ground, like in an area like this. So I really got to keep my eyes peeled.
All right. Did you see this?
So
Play it again.
Lots of little caves and stuff along here, and it's about level with.
Right here seems to be the one where the rock is pulled out. You can kind of see back in there. Look at this. It's really hard to see. This is ground level. Comes back, but this looks like it goes into boulders. That is a tree right behind it. I do not see this unless it comes on a downward angle. To me, that's nothing more than a bunch of rocks. That's why I want to shoot lasers through. You have a good opening there. You have an opening here. I think where those rocks got pulled off, I'm not exactly sure where it is. I'd have to go to Aquachigger's video and see where the rock got pulled off. I put a laser in that, and I put my camera by the laser. I don't expect that laser to go more than 10 inches.
With the ground, like in an area like this. So I really got to keep my eyes peeled because I don't want to pass it. And then there's caves like that.
Then there's caves like that. Kenny's telling you it's not in this draw. Unless it is the Big M cave that shows in Aquachigger's video. So anyway, basically, my whole point to this one is I understand how come Robin was more or less focused on this part. Now, the thing that I am interested in, when Scott Nuttall went down the mine, let's see, the mine is right here, I believe. Anyhow, when he went into that mine, right below the mine, there's that agave pit, which, other than nostalgia, history, those I would rather stay away from because that is sacred to the tribes out there, and I really am not into desecrating what they hold as value. But I think Robin came up He either came up this way or he shot up this way. Regardless, he got to the same point. I believe this is where he climbed up. And everybody thinks he's crazy when he could have just came back out here. He could have went up here, checked all this out thoroughly, could have side hilled back, came right up on top, followed the rim right back, and he could have either shot through and came back over to the Joe May Guzzler. Back over here, where is it? Right over here's where Jeff Claw ran into the rattlesnakes. And I'm kind of hoping that the rattlesnakes are still sleeping while I'm there. I might be having rattlesnake stew if I run into one, but hey, that's a whole different ballgame. So anyway, after kicking it around on what was Robin doing in here, he said there was that secret entrance into the mine. You would have to come down. You would have had to tunneled and it go where would be the easiest way. And then why would you put a portal in, a stope, a entry, haulage, whatever? Why would you put an entry in over here unless you was going back farther under the sheeps and you was planning on this being a or a place to pull your ore out? But why would you not want something that's a little bit closer to the ground? I don't know. Those old miners, when they did stuff like that, they had a system, and their system worked because a lot of their tunnels or portals or entries or stopes are still, they're still open. They're not caved out yet. So anyway, but anyhow, like I said, what everybody else is doing, that's up to them. I'm trying to stay focused on my own plan, but I do want to see this. And I don't care who goes there. They ain't packing that rock out. So anyway, that is, I wanted to use Kenny's words to explain this part. As far as I'm concerned, these 2 M's are absolutely no different than the 5,000 M's that Scott Nuttall has showed. And now it's just study maps. Listen to that video. I'll move that video back over to my phone so I have it out there. I don't have to do anything with maps because I already have everything waypointed on my phone, on Onyx. I have battery packs, lasers, night vision, binoculars, spotting scopes. So it ought to be interesting. Now I just need the next couple of weeks to go by. Alright, later.